Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Big news. Vixen's coming to Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, so I'm going to explain what's going on and what that might look like. There are a couple other cast members that they're also still looking for. So Vixen is going to be a series regular for Season 2, meaning she's going to be in most, if not all, of the episodes. But the problem is that the actress, Megalyn, who I'm just going to call, that's her Twitter handle, Megalyn, isn't available because she's booked on another project, so they're going to have to do a different version of Vixen. They said she'll just be from somewhere else in the timeline, like an earlier version of the character. There have been other people to use the totem, like that's the way they write her lore. Vixen is just the latest person in her family to wear the totem, so presumably this new character will be her ancestor, which I still think is a huge upgrade for the show. Just getting one more powerful character with actual superpowers. Some of my complaints against Legends of Tomorrow Season 1 were in people and things that they left out just because it felt like maybe they didn't have the okay to do that. Now that Jeff Johns is the Kevin Feige of DC's movies, and they're doing Superman on Supergirl, they're doing Justice Society on Legends of Tomorrow, I think they have access to characters they normally wouldn't have been able to do before. But they haven't really said too much about the stories they're going to be doing, other than the villain will be a big upgrade from Vandal Savage as well. And I think Vandal Savage was a great villain for Season 1, but there were some problems with the way he was written, in the way the story used him, that they tried to combine Vandal Savage with Seth Hatt from the Hawkman Hawkgirl comic books, and they're two completely different things, so I think it just didn't end up being quite as awesome as it could have been, and a lot of that has to do with the actors that they cast and the speed with which they were trying to get episodes out. I think the whole first season was just way too rushed, so I think now by upgrading their cast as well as spending a lot of extra time working on those scripts and figuring out what the arc of the season's going to be, it'll be a lot more fun. So if you haven't watched Legends of Tomorrow Season 1 yet, I would recommend you at least watch the finale just so you get that Justice Society tease. And just to explain that, so spoiler warning for Legends Season 1, as they defeat Vandal Savage and everyone kind of starts to go their separate ways, a version of the Wave Rider from the future comes crashing down and out walks Hourman telling Rip Hunter, "You sent me, I'm from the Justice Society of America." So presumably something is happening in the future, there's a big catastrophe, they haven't explained it yet, but that's what the main arc of Season 2 is going to be. But that's just Legends of Tomorrow. Even though they're doing the 4-night crossover, there'll be Justice Society things involving all the TV shows. Legends is the one that's going really deep into that. So because they've done so many weird things on The Flash, we've seen alternate universes, we've gone backwards and forwards in time, we've changed the timeline in really weird ways, we've seen Speed Force, wormhole aliens, I think it's a pretty safe bet that we will see like future versions of all these characters on the TV shows inside the Justice Society. Like we'll see future Oliver Queen, future Supergirl, future Flash, all on the Justice Society. All the stars are going back to work in a couple weeks, so hopefully they'll have some footage to show off at Comic-Con, and we'll have some Justice League promo art to show off of all the characters around the table, or in the lineup, however they want to do it. It's just that when they do big promos like that, they've had a history of doing comic book covers, like the Flash of Two Worlds comic book cover, so hopefully they'll do a Justice Society comic book cover. But here's my question for you guys. Who do you think the big villain upgrade is going to be? And because they have Vixen, I'm still kind of thinking Mordru. He's like the biggest magic user that you could think of that they'd be able to do on the TV shows. Probably not going to do him in the movies, so that's not really an issue. But that just seems like the easiest way to one-up Vandal Savage. And if they have Vixen, that means they want a magic user on the team. It would make sense that magic would have something to do with the Season 2 arc. So they haven't really said anything about casting a lot of the shows. They've been talking a lot about the people they're casting for Arrow, the big Arrow villain. Stephen Amell's been teasing things. I'll talk a little bit about that in a separate video. But they haven't quite started talking about Flash characters they're casting or Legends of Tomorrow, so once we learn about that, we'll have a better idea. But I think that's right around the corner, and I know it is a bit of a bummer that they can't get the same actress that came on Arrow to do Vixen to come back, but she's booked, she's still doing the voice for the animated series, and they are doing a second season of that, so if you haven't seen it, it's on the CW Seed, it's like cwseed.com. It's 30 minutes broken into 5-minute episodes, so it's basically like one 30-minute episode, so that's kind of how Season 2 is going to be as well, and they'll probably premiere it the same way they did last year, where they build up to the first episode of Arrow and Flash and all this stuff that's coming back. So I'm just going to affectionately call Legends Season 2 Justice Society, And I know they probably should have done that with the show originally, but that was before all the Batman v Superman drama, the behind-the-scenes shuffle. Now I think the TV shows have a little more freedom with the stories they tell and the way they use characters, so I'm really excited about the next season of all these different shows. But I'll be doing bonus videos for everything all summer, so no worries. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. I'm also going to start a new round of the giveaway now too. It's just a $20 Amazon gift card. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. I'll just announce the winner the next time I post a DC video. So in case I don't get to it right away, the Arrow villain that everyone's talking about for next season is supposed to be a Stringer Bell wire type character. So that means something of a gentleman drug dealer who's generally physically imposing, someone who you believe could go toe-to-toe in a fight with Oliver Queen. So I will try to do a video later this week just explaining that, because if you've ever seen any of my Arrow videos, I always compare it to The Wire because the writers of Arrow are so in love with The Wire. So that show was already kind of conceived as DC's version of The Wire. So if you haven't seen The Wire from HBO, that'd actually probably be helpful to watch that, especially the later seasons that deal more with what's going on inside the mayor's office, because we're going to be doing Mayor Oliver Queen. So I feel like they're going to be taking a lot of inspiration from The Wire next season. So while you guys wait for that next video to post, you can click here for my Deadpool kills X-Men Apocalypse video, and you can click here to learn all about Superman coming to Supergirl Season 2, like an actual Superman. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.